Do you have a basic shirt or tank top that feels a little bit boring? Let me show you how to give it an upgrade with just a needle and thread. Hi, I'm Emily from Homemade Emily Jane, and I love sharing creative projects like this one. This decorative blanket stitch adds texture, color, and personality to everyday clothing. And the best part is that it really is beginner friendly. You can add it to a tank top neckline, a sleeve, a collar, a pocket, or even the hem of a shirt. Once you get started, you might actually find yourself finding new articles of clothing to add this little blanket stitch to. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, and then I'll share some ideas for customizing it and making it your own. So we'll start with the supplies that you'll need. For this project, you really only need a few basic supplies. You'll need the garment or fabric that you wish to add this embellishment to. You'll also need a hand sewing needle. I like to use an embroidery needle for this because the eye of the needle is a little bit longer and easier to thread. You'll also need some embroidery floss or pearl cotton thread. I actually prefer pearl cotton for this project, and I usually use 8-weight pearl cotton, but anything from 5 to 12 weight will work. The 5-weight will be a little bit thicker and the 12-weight will be just a touch thinner. The thicker the thread, the more bold and textured your stitches will look. You'll also need a small pair of scissors and a fabric marking pen. That's optional, but you might want to use it if you want your stitches to be exactly precise. You can use it to mark exactly where each stitch will go for perfect placement and spacing. If you're new to hand sewing, then marking your stitch placement can help make things a little bit easier, but personally, I'm just gonna eyeball it because I think it still looks great even if it's not 100% perfect. Next up, let's talk a little bit about choosing your thread. As I mentioned, you can use embroidery floss, and if you are using embroidery floss, you can still use all 6 strands for a nice bold look, or you can separate the strands and use fewer for something a little bit more delicate. Of course, the color is completely up to you. You can use a contrasting color for a really obvious bold look, or something that matches a little bit more similarly, or maybe playing with color too. I find pearl cotton easiest to use, and I happen to have a lot of it on hand, so that's what I'm using today. All right, let's go ahead and get started stitching. The first step is to prepare your garment. The first thing you want to do is decide where you want your stitching to go. There are so many possibilities here. You can stitch around the tank top of a neckline. You could stitch around the edge of a sleeve. You could put it around a collar, on a pocket, around the hem of a shirt, or even pants or shorts. Really, the possibilities are endless, and you can use it to dress up any solid, boring piece of clothing. If you are working on a finished garment, I recommend washing it before you start stitching, just in case it'll shrink a little bit in the wash. That way your finished stitches will just look a little bit nicer after laundering. If you're a beginner, you can mark the little dots along the edge. This helps keep those stitches spaced super evenly, but it's totally optional. I usually just eyeball it. All right, the next step is to thread your needle and cut a manageable length of thread. I usually start with around 20 to 25 inches, and you can definitely use a longer piece, but the longer the thread gets, the more likely it is to tangle. So if you're prone to getting your thread into a giant knot, just use a shorter piece. Thread gloss can also be used to help avoid those tangles too. Once your needle is threaded, go ahead and just tie a little knot at the end. Then we're ready to start stitching. The next step is to make your first stitch. You'll start by bringing the needle up from the back of the fabric to keep your knot hidden inside the garment, and then bring your needle through. Then you make the first stitch near the edge of the fabric. Here's the important part. As you pull the thread through, leave a small loop that you can pop that needle back in through. That loop is what creates the signature look of the blanket stitch. Bring that needle through the loop and pull the thread snug. I find it really helpful to pinch down exactly where you want that thread to lay as you pull it so that it stays in place. That's super important for any blanket stitch. I find it especially helpful when I'm doing 3 stitches into one place. So as you're doing your stitch, you just put the needle down through the same hole, and it should go straight through. And then I like to pinch the needle and wrap the thread around the needle, and then pinch the thread exactly where I want that thread to lay, and then pull it snug. Just like that. We're just going to repeat that same motion over and over again along the edge. For a classic blanket stitch, you'll want each stitch spaced evenly, or for the look that I'm doing on this, I do 3 stitches into one hole, and then I do 3 more into the next hole. So that's just one version of it that you can do. You could also do 2 stitches. That's a fun look as well. And really just be creative with it and make it your own. As you go, definitely try to keep the height of your stitches fairly consistent and try to keep the spacing between them consistent too. But don't stress about making them absolutely perfect. This is a handmade detail. A little variation is part of the charm. You also want to pay attention to your thread tension, especially if you're working with knit fabric or something that will stretch. You don't want to pull the stitches so tightly that they pucker the fabric. So pull it tight enough for your stitches to sit comfortably on the edge of the fabric and not be super snug, but also not be super loose. Now here's a fun way to change the look. As I mentioned, I'm doing 3 stitches into one hole here. You can absolutely make a traditional blanket stitch with the stitches evenly spaced, but I just find this look a little bit more fun. It creates little triangle shapes along the edge, and because they're not all perfect, it does add a fun little texture to it. I recommend that you experiment with this for yourself. Try it in groups of 2, try it in groups of 3, and just keep everything as evenly spaced as possible, and I promise you it will look good no matter what. There really is no right or wrong way to do it. Here's a little tip for stitching around curves. If you're stitching around something like a neckline, take your time. You might need to make your stitches slightly smaller as you go around a sharp curve, like if you're doing children's clothing, just to help that edge lay smoothly. And if you need to, don't be afraid to adjust your spacing too. You don't have to force every stitch to be exactly the same size, and just focus on keeping the overall look consistent. Eventually your thread is going to get too short, and when that happens, it's time to add a new piece. We'll want to secure the short thread before we add the new one. I like to knot it into the existing stitch and then bury the thread tail into the fabric before trimming it. For the new piece of thread, you can simply tie a knot at the end and bring your needle up through the hem or edge of your garment to bury that knot, and then bring the needle exactly through the knot that you just made in your previous strand of thread. That helps you pick up the stitch exactly where you left off. And once you continue stitching, the transition is barely noticeable. Now you'll just continue this process, adding new pieces of thread as many times as you need until you reach the end of where you're trying to stitch for. Now, if you are doing a neckline, you can choose to go all the way around the front and the back, or you can stop at just doing the front and it's probably not as noticeable on the back. It's really up to you and your personal preference. When you finish the end of the stitching area that you are trying to stitch, you can finish that thread off the same way that you did any of the other threads, secure it onto the back of the fabric, and bury the thread tail into the hem. Then you'll just go through and trim away any excess for any of your thread tails across the whole project. And that's it. Now you have a really pretty row of decorative stitches all along the edge of your garment. It's really such a simple detail, but it can completely change the look of a basic tee or tank top. Now I want to take a minute to share some of my best tips. Before you start stitching your favorite shirt, I do have a few tips to share with you. And the first one is to practice on scrap fabric or a garment that you don't really care about, especially if this is your first time trying a blanket stitch. There is a little bit of a learning curve, and the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Giving yourself some time to practice gives you a chance to figure out your stitch spacing and sizing, and you can test out different thread colors too. My second tip is to avoid pulling your thread too tightly. This is probably the biggest thing that can make your stitching look less polished, and after your garment has been washed with your stitching, it can make it so that it's too tight along the hem and bunches it up. You really want the thread to just sit on top of the fabric without being too tight. And finally, have some fun with color. You don't have to just make it white or black. You can use any color that you want, especially if it's like a fun contrasting color to your garment. You can try a bright color on a neutral shirt to really make it pop, or you could try matching thread for just a subtle texture added. Once you've mastered this blanket stitch technique on garments, I'll invite you to also try it on other things as well. You definitely don't have to stop at clothing. You can add it to napkins or tea towels, pillow covers, tote bags, fabric baskets, or maybe even in quilting too if you're a quilter. I personally love projects like this because they don't require a lot of supplies. You don't need a sewing machine, and they really don't take that much time. Just a needle, some thread, and a basic garment. So if you have a plain tank top or shirt just sitting in your closet, I recommend giving this a try. I hope you're encouraged to try this technique for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below, and subscribe here on YouTube. Also, go find me on Instagram and Facebook at Homemade Emily Jane. I share tons of creative DIYs and quilting tutorials and sewing tips over there as well. And in the meantime, happy stitching.